Now, I know I said my last video would be the last one that I make for this year, but screw you, impulse decisions! With a new decade around the corner, I just thought, might as well give her my own personal feelings towards what Doctor Who has been for me in the past decade. So 2010 was when David Tennant left, and that was the first time I had experienced a regeneration story. I was sad that David Tennant left, but I knew he was leaving, I knew there was going to be a new Doctor, and I was prepared. I'm sad that the person I knew was going, but I was excited to see what was going to be new and excited. I've always been that way with Doctor Who, and quite frankly, when an actor leaves, I'm sad but hopeful for the future, unlike some fans. So then Series 5 happened, which was the most hyped for a Doctor Who season I had ever been. And quite frankly, I wasn't disappointed. Now, I was sad when Rory died in that season, but I probably had some form of crush on him. So moving on, we have the Sarah Jane Adventures Series 4, which... Oh, I loved the Sarah Jane Adventures when I was younger. I get home from primary school and watch Sarah Jane Adventures, and I just loved it. And I really need to rewatch the Sarah Jane Adventures at some point. I really enjoyed Series 4 specifically. Like, it was really good. Like, there was the Nightmare Man, and then, like, Lost in Time. It felt like the show had matured along with its audience, but not, like, mature. It's just like, this is still a show aimed at this age group, but it's doing more daring stories, which Russell knew his audience, and he knew that audience members aren't stupid, so he wanted to make a show with writers that also knew that. And then there was A Christmas Carol, which, although I've seen it since and enjoy a lot, I never really got a connection with it. It was just another Christmas special. Oh boy, the hype for Series 6 was real. It was going to be the biggest season ever, and then, the Doctor's gonna die, but then again, I had been a fan for a few years. I already knew the whole, like, the Doctor's gonna die prophecy. It got old in Series 6 for me, because of the Tennant specials also having that sort of prophecy. That gap in between series was an agonising wait for me personally. But in between Series 6A and 6B, there was Torchwood Miracle Day, which I didn't watch all of. I started watching it. May I remind you, I was 9. So I shouldn't have been watching it, but my mum let me until there was a scene where Jack was sleeping with a man. And then Doctor Who came back, single episodes this time, and I was hooked. I feel nostalgic about this time because I love the TARDIS dynamic of Eleven and the Ponds. And I love my boys. And then the final series of Sarah Jane happened, which made me sad because Elizabeth Sladen had died earlier that year, and I knew that would spell the end for the Sarah Jane Adventures. And it was a sad day. I was hoping it wasn't just going to be the 3 episodes, but it was. Thinking about that ending, it makes me want to tear up, like, even to this day. 2012 was a long wait, and I had gotten into Pokemon at that point because of the lack of Doctor Who. And it was a long wait, and I was starting to get cynical. I was 10. 10-year-olds are annoying. I didn't know what the word asylum meant, so I was like, oh, it's a terrible title because I don't know what that means. Then I watched the rest of the episodes as well, and I enjoyed them. And then the Christmas special had a new TARDIS, and it shocked me, and I was like, this looks so cool, I can't wait for the 50th. I was sad that the Ponds had left at that point, but the show needs to continue evolving. If you're doing this for 3 years, you might want to leave after that. But yeah, the Snowmen I thought was alright. I didn't particularly like the Ice Lady, or when Dr. Simeon was possessed by the Great Intelligence. But other than that, I remember really liking it, and now I still really like it. But then Series 7B, the hype for the 50th was real. I had really gotten into Classic Who at this point. I did have quite a few Classic Who DVDs, but not a lot. I only really started to get a lot, like, post-2015. So Series 7B, I remember liking being a fan at that point because it just felt different. There was a new title sequence, there was a new TARDIS console, Eleven's costume was very different, there's a new companion, it was just new. But also, it felt like the show's history was being celebrated at that point, mainly by the fandom, because the Ice Warriors were brought back, and Nightmare and Silver had a new Cyberman design at that point. And also, the name of the Doctor had revealed that John Hurt was playing a Doctor, and it's just like, what is this? But also, Series 7B had the first episode that I really didn't like. Really didn't like, and that was Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS. I've not seen it since. I've not seen... the only Series 7B episode I've seen since broadcast is A Crimson Horror. Or The Crimson Horror. That's what it's called. The Crimson Horror, not A Crimson Horror. So, in between Series 7B and the 50th anniversary special, I got into the fandom online a bit. Although, granted, it was just me watching Doctor Who YouTube channels at that point. I had my own YouTube channel, and I did talk about Doctor Who occasionally, but, I was mainly into watching Doctor Who YouTube channels at that point. It was also when I had left primary school and then moving on to secondary school, so there you go. Yeah, I'd started watching Five Who Fans, which, for people who had watched Five Who Fans back when they were a thing, yeah, this channel exists. I really enjoyed their content. I liked the sort of style of having a multi-member Doctor Who channel where we all got to contribute videos. I had started watching just before their channel takeover for 2013. I'd been introduced to Billy's videos, then a Livy video with Billy, and then I watched more and more and more, and I fell in love. My love for the Five Who Fans had dwindled as time went on, but mainly after I started the Whoniversals, actually. The 50th! Oh boy, I was excited for the 50th. And I elected not to go and see it in the cinema, mainly because, oh, Doctor Who's a TV show. I regret that choice now, but I still enjoyed Day of the Doctor when it came out. And as soon as I got the DVD, I watched it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Then Time of the Doctor happened, and the same sort of deal happened like when David Tennant left. I was excited for Peter Capaldi. Like, I didn't care that he was older. I was excited that we just got someone new and Scottish and all that. Yeah, Series 8, I remember liking it. I wasn't sure if I would like Peter Capaldi's Doctor at first. I was definitely going to give him a chance. I wasn't, like, angry that Matt Smith wasn't the Doctor anymore, even though Matt Smith was my favourite at that point. And then the rest of Series 8 happened, and yeah, the finale I liked, surprisingly. I probably wouldn't like it now, but like I liked it at the time. And I honestly did not care that Missy was the Master. I was just excited that the Master was back. You see, I'm an open-minded fan. I'm open to change in Doctor Who. I invite change in Doctor Who, and I've always done that. And then Last Christmas happened, and that broke me. 'Cause I was a bit hesitant on Last Christmas because, oh, Santa's in Doctor Who. Oh, it's stupid. But then I just stopped caring about that, and then got excited for it. That was my mistake. Also, I realised I didn't like Clara. Clara came back. And I was like, okay, they're gonna kill her off. They didn't kill her off, and she was really annoying in Last Christmas. Also, Last Christmas was just a terrible story. Then, 2015 happened, and that's when I really started getting into Doctor Who fandom. That's how I met Ollie through the Five Who Fans forum, and that's how I met Nick as well, and Owen, who was an original member of the Whoniversals, and also Tiana, well, back before she came out as trans, but, you know. I met a few people who now work on the Too Many Doctor Who's Pope Zygon production series, which I have now recently come back to do and do things for them. And yeah, it was a good time, and I started contributing to this series called Infinite Dimensions, which was a fanfiction parody series inspired by Aimless Wanderings, but taken to a new extreme. That's how writing became a hobby. Before I mention Series 9, I'm gonna mention one thing, and that's how Doctor Who impacted me during secondary school. But my secondary school had a Doctor Who fan club, and we just watched episodes of the show. And yeah, until the end of fourth year, because of the fact that on Wednesdays at that time, fifth and sixth years didn't really have the time to attend any societies that happened at Wednesdays at lunchtime. Literally, my school said, no, you can't watch Doctor Who, you've got to do your fitness. Yeah, that was just an important part of my life. I met some good friends there. Got introduced to some people through friends who also went to that club, but some friends that I've been introduced to who went to that club are now still some of my closest friends, and yeah, Doctor Who means a lot to me, and so do my friends. So Series 9 happened. The Magician's Apprentice made me angry because it was so dull, so boring. Then I rewatched it because my mum was like, it's not so bad. I rewatched it and I was brainwashed into liking it. And then I liked the second part. And thinking back, I really shouldn't have made those reviews. I've privated them, but Jean screenshotted one of my ratings. But Series 9, I was enjoying each episode, for sure. But it wasn't the best. But like, the arc really wasn't cutting it for me, but like the episodes were alright, I guess. Also, 12's character was not good. The 12th Doctor's character not good in that season. And Heaven Sent happened, and that was good, but then I didn't really appreciate it until my second viewing. But it was still good enough. But that cliffhanger was like my favourite cliffhanger because I wasn't expecting it. And it just happened. Doctor was on Gallifrey, and then I was really excited for the next week. Hellbent nearly killed my love for the show. It was so bad. So bad. I was happy Clara died. I was celebrating. Like, the next day I got into a call with Ollie and I played Ode to Joy. Like, I was having Ode to Joy playing, and then she was brought back. And then everything bad happened in Hellbent, and it did everything wrong. It did everything wrong. But yeah, around this time, around Series 9... Actually, no, I think it was a little bit before Series 9. Yeah, I think it was a little bit before. Well, I was using Whovian's Amino at that point. Yeah, who still uses Whovian's Amino now? But I think it's gotten better, but like, I've lost interest. Well, I DM'd Nick on Whovian's Amino, and this was back when I was planning a Doctor Who audio series based on my fan films that I had made earlier that year. Oh yeah, I made fan films, but that's not important. But I should mention that I did. I DM'd Nick after we were planning this, and I asked him, do you want to make the Whoniversals or do you want to make a Doctor Who collaboration channel? It's his idea that this channel is called the Whoniversals, so blame him for that. Also blame me for not saying no, I guess, but mainly blame him. And we were prepping for a few months, and it became a meme, we are coming, and so before I mention more about the Whoniversals starting up and how my feelings to that happened, I'm gonna speak about Husband's River Song. That was the first episode of Doctor Who I turned off before I could finish. Because I really know, as soon as the Sonic Trowel happened, I was just like, nah, I'm going to spend time with my family. So then the Whoniversals got started up, and we were doing fine. I'm glad that we tried to start again, because like later on, because that wasn't, we weren't good in early 2016, but still, it was a nice experience. But it was a bit disheartening when we got hacked, and I just decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do anything. This was also the same year where Doctor Who wasn't really on, and also Stephen Moffat announced his departure at that point, which I was glad after Series 9. Chris Chibnall was announced as successor, and I was like, alright, I guess. But then Jean-Luc messaged me on Twitter randomly, and I was like, stranger danger. But against my better judgment, I agreed to receive the message, and he asked me if I wanted to make a Doctor collaboration channel. So then basically we adopted him, and I mean there were some rocky times during 2016, 2017, and 2018, but we were fine this year. We're still good friends, and yeah, we're pretty close, I guess. So then we started again, and I think we started off well. I feel nostalgia towards our 2016 content. Most of it's not there anymore, but I'll get to that later. Class happened, which I remember really enjoying, and yeah, that's about it. Didn't really amount to anything. The Return of Doctor Mysterio happened, and I refused to watch it on first broadcast because I didn't trust Christmas specials. I tried watching it again, no, I just couldn't. I tried watching it like a couple days later, just couldn't. It was only at New Year's Eve when I was really bored that I tried watching it like past the 20-minute mark. So then 2017 happened with Series 10, and really enjoyed Bill, really enjoyed Nardo, really enjoyed the series as a whole. I don't think there was an episode of Series 10 that I actually sat down and just disliked. Maybe Extremis on first broadcast. I've not seen it since. 2017 was a great year for the Whoniversals, and I think that was... I think 2016 2017 may have been our golden age, although I feel like we have improved at making content since then, but I feel like it was a different energy back then, especially with Ollie being there. We made the Nick Clone Saga, that's a thing. Oh yeah, Twice Upon a Time, I hated it. Also, I was really happy that we got a female Doctor, but I was sad that Peter Capaldi was leaving, but, you know, I was hopeful for a female Doctor. I forgot to mention 2016 and 2017, and I guess 2015 as well, were when I got into Big Finish, and I'll explain about Big Finish before I explain about Whoniversals in 2018. So I started with Dark Eyes, and then finished that series, and got Sixth Doctor: The Last Adventure and The Light at the End, and then got Doom Coalition, and I decided to get more, and more, and more, and more, and more, and more, and now I have too much. But I really love it. It's given me a new appreciation of the Doctor Who franchise. It's given me a new hobby. And I just love it to bits. I love all the storytelling. And it's been a good escape. It was a cure for Moffat-era depression for me. But it made me a more entitled fan. But I guess 2018 was an experience... 2018 was probably the most important year of my life in general. Because a lot of my worldviews had to change in a way. A lot of the things that happened in my life, a lot of things happened in 2018 that made me reevaluate a lot. And same thing for 2019, but 2018 was even more impactful, as what I was like as a fan changed with Doctor Who. And what I'm like as a person and how I deal with things had to change a lot due to the fact that, again, some of my closest friends, well, one of my closest friends, actually, screw the other guys, just, that's one specific friend, who I made that was in the year above that actually I made through that Doctor Who club, left, and if they're watching this, which they're probably not, but if they're, because especially if they've made it this far, if if they're watching this, I want them to know that I love them to bits, and if it weren't for them, I honestly don't think I would have been able to get up every single day. And 2018, when they went to uni for their first year, I just it was rough for the first half of my last year at school. But I think it was a necessary learning experience for me. Anyways, back to Doctor Who. But now with Big Finish, I feel like now I'm just a healthy collector who collects things now and then, and I just enjoy the stories and yeah. So I said I'd get back to it, and I will. So the Whoniversals, 2018. We needed to replace the person who was going to replace Ollie. This person, who I'd been getting along with. I asked, "Do you want to do stuff for the channel?" And then they just kept delaying and delaying, and we didn't upload anything for like a couple months. And then when we were gonna upload something, they just uploaded something short and stupid, and then just we were like, "Is that it?" And then they just deleted like half of our videos. Yeah, I don't think we ever addressed this in a video. We might have, but I think it might be privated or deleted or something. I don't know. But now, well, I'm addressing it here, and quite frankly, this person still denies it to this day. But it was probably them, and but we had to rebuild and keep going. Jean rejoined just to help out, and he stayed ever since. With the series 11 hype train going on, I was I was it was when I was not doing particularly well mentally, but my making Whoniversals videos actually did help me out quite a bit, and I just made videos I was passionate making, and I've I think starting from early 2018 was my transitionary period from going from what I was like from the first sort of, I guess, season of the Whoniversals to what we're doing now. And I think my first proper modern Matt video was my season 23 video, which a lot of people have praised, even people close to me, and I think it is contender for my best video and possibly best video on the channel, and I'm proud of it even to this day, and I honestly think that that video is the pinpoint of what I was going to make from then on. Series 11 happened, and I enjoyed it. It was what I needed at that point, because I was having such a downer, and I honestly think Dark and Depressing Doctor Who wouldn't have cut it for me unless if it was really good, like, you know, the Moffat era wasn't. And even though Series 11 has its issues, 13 is just a bundle of joy, and I love what Jodie brings to the character. And even if she's not bringing much, she's bringing joy, she's bringing a nice energy, and it's what I needed to lift my spirits in late 2018. So then Resolution happened, and yeah, I enjoyed it. And then it was announced that Doctor Who wouldn't be coming back until early 2020. 2019 has been a long year, but at the same time a short year. It's really weird that Doctor Who's around the corner. It was becoming apparent that only 2 people were uploading, and it wasn't that great. But do you know what? I enjoyed making like video essay style content. The 100 episode sag was great. I feel like I am in top form with like what I'm uploading now. Yeah, my love for Big Finish has grown. My love for making content has grown. And then Big Finish month happened, which was massive. I made too many videos. I made 4. I talked to the guy who wrote some of my favourite Big Finish audios, Rob Sherman, and that was surreal. And we had a new member join around that point, Thomas. He's great, and yeah, we really needed a fourth person on the team. But then I had a crash in August, but I needed August off to recover from July. And then September, I made my City of Death review, which I had been planning since day one. Well, not planning, but like I had planned to do it since day one. I wanted to do a City of Death review, specifically then. And I, even though the video turned out really good, it's whenever I look at that video and think about that video, I do not feel happy because it was hard to write, hard to edit, hard to record. I had issues to record with recording it, and hard to upload. Everything was. It did not go right for that review, and it didn't really get many views. I mean, it's gotten decent views, but like it's not gotten the views that I wanted it to get, and that really bummed me out, and I actually considered leaving the channel briefly, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm good. I'm Gucci. Also, one thing I didn't mention about New Year's and resolution, I realised that I really don't like the Doctor Who fandom. I really don't. I actually had to make friends with people who were very much younger fans who were either Classic Who fans that thought similar things to me, not same opinions, just similar views on the franchise to me, or New Who fans who haven't really seen Classic Who, but at least they're decent people to talk to, because of Not My Doctor. Not My Doctor is not good. They hate women. That's it, basically. I mean, and realising that just the fandom had become that toxic at that point, that was the intervention I needed, really, and now my views as a fan have changed because of it. Sorry this video has been a bit wishy-washy, it's just like, I start remembering that I wanted to talk about one thing, and yeah. I had a crash, and I tried making a video, which I decided to delay until 2020. It's going to be delayed again, but only because it will be timed better if it's delayed. So I just, yeah, and then I made my Christmas video. Yeah. So that was basically my Doctor Who experience from 2019, and yeah. Other miscellaneous things. In 2017, I want to say, is when I went to the Doctor Who experience in Cardiff. Yeah, it was 2017. Was it? Yeah, it was 2017. Yeah, and I loved Cardiff. It was great. I think that's the only miscellaneous thing. That was me reflecting on the past decade of Doctor Who. I just wanted to make this video just because I just wanted to reflect on the past decade. This video, I don't care if this video doesn't get views. I just care that I've opened up, and if you have been watching, thank you so much. This video is literally just going to be things cut together. This is just me talking to a camera at this point. So, to those of you who have known me and been watching the Whoniversals, I thank each and every one of you. Especially those important to me in my life, all of the friends I've met online and all the friends I've made in real life, especially the ones that I have made in real life, and I just want to let you know how much I'm thankful for the past decade of Doctor Who. I've enjoyed being a Doctor Who fan, and it's been... Without Doctor Who, I don't know where I'd be right now. As it's Hogmanay right now, I wish you a Happy New Year, and see you next time when I'm probably reviewing something from Series 12. Hope you all have a good year next year, and I hope you have a good decade. And I hope you enjoy Series 12 and any future Doctor Who that comes out. I wish you the very best, and I shall see you next time.